Now that we have our sales, COGS, operating expenses, depreciation, interest, and taxes, our data is ready. We will start assembling our final P&L. This will be done on a business level as a whole and also on store-by-store basis. You can download the template we use for the multi-store P&L from the attachments. We are going to use example of store 1 from the same previous steps. First, we will fill the actual sales and expenses for the store from last year, which is 2019 on the left. From step 1, we get the sales budget for the store, which is 2,075,460. The total gross margin from sales is 58%, but after factoring stock loss provision, we have it at 56.7. So COGS is 898,674. Then we add our different cost lines. It should be noted here that for retail businesses, it's better to separate store costs from common costs so that we can see profitability at store level. So costs related to stores such as rent and staff will be entered directly here, but at the bottom there will be common costs such as office and warehouse employees. These costs are calculated at total level and then assigned to each store based on sales contribution. For example, if total warehouse cost is 162,783, and as we said, store 1 sales contribution is 34.7% of total sales, then 56,486 will be assigned to store 1's P&L as warehousing costs. Same goes to all common expenses. Separating store level from total profitability, as you can see in this P&L under store profit, allows us to make better decisions on store openings and closures. It shows you if the store on its own is profitable or not. So let's continue. Now that we've added all the costs that we have, a P&L budget for store 1 that shows expected sales, margins, store level profitability, as well as profitability after adding common expenses. This budget could also then be divided later on into a monthly P&L budget for the store, using the same method and using the data from monthly sales target by store. And throughout the year, it will be used as a target for performance. Using the created P&L budget in the previous step allows for performance management throughout the year and taking any corrective actions on the spot, instead of waiting for the year to end. This is done through variance analysis. Variance analysis is done by comparing the set target for each month or period by the actual performance for the same month or period and checking for any unfavorable variances. These variances could include less than budgeted sales, lower than budgeted margins, higher than budgeted expenses. While doing the variance analysis, you will go through the P&L line by line and see the performance against budget as well as against last year. For example, using this P&L template, you will have results from last year on the left and the budget on the right. Then as the months roll in, you will fill the actual performance under this year column. Once you do that, you will find that the growth column gets updated and showing you performance against last year. And at the same time, the budget achievement column will get updated showing performance against budget. 100% will be on target, and above that will be higher than targeted, and of course below that will be lower than target. For example, here we can see that the business only achieved 34% of its net profit target. When we analyze by line, we find out that it did not achieve its sales budget. It only achieved 97%. Also, we find that the staff cost was 4% higher than budgeted. And also, admin expenses were 8% higher than budgeted. Based on where the variance is and its extent, an action plan could be then formulated to rectify and avoid getting the same result for the rest of the year. For example, if gross profit is lower than expected due to lower margin, then markdown level might need to be reduced, and some of the future markdown events and promotions for the rest of the year could either be cancelled or shortened to get back the margins to the targeted level. This would require an adjustment to the marketing calendar. If, on the other hand, sales are lower than budgeted and not expected to reach target level for the rest of the year, then a new sales forecast might be needed and adjustment in expenses might also be needed. This would require creating a new sales budget for the remaining months of the year after factoring in the current degrowth level. In addition to that, inventory will start building up due to lower sales, so clearance events might also be needed from now to avoid higher stock levels at the end of the year. If variances are spotted early in this way and acted upon quickly, bad financial results at the end of the year might still be avoided. All this can be spotted and rectified because the business has set a budget before the beginning of the year and continues to assess performance versus budget on a regular basis.